the EP Podcast. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at the eppodcast.com.
And we got a good show today.
Yeah.
We have Joe Rian. He is a singer-songwriter. He is a Southside artist. He lives in Evergreen Park, and he's got his own podcast. He works with different musicians. He's throwing a festival here on the South Side with like 14 different acts. He's going to bring his guitar down here. He's going to sing for people on the EP podcast. He's going to tell his story. It's going to be very interesting. I can't wait to hear it, okay? The other thing that we've got coming up, we've got you and my wife working out.
Yes.
Which is hysterical because she's the kind of person that would sit around and say, maybe I'll work out tomorrow. And now all of a sudden it's like 3 days a week. She's in some kind of gym and she's found her new favorite spot and it's in Evergreen Park and you guys just came from there.
Yes.
So I'm going to try to drag her downstairs to join you here later on in the show at the 9-foot homemade oak bar so she can explain what she's doing because she's got big plans. She put me on keto. She's on keto. She's upstairs right now making burgers
but you guys
with
have lost
blue
weight.
cheese and bacon stuffed into them. I'm down easily 15 pounds.
And how long
Maybe
has it been?
16.
How long?
It's been about 3 weeks at this point.
See?
Yeah. So, I mean,
And you're not even having to work
16
out.
pounds in about 20 days is where I'm at. 21 days, somewhere in there.
And you're not even doing exercise
I'm not even
because of your
I was
foot.
in the boot. I'm
yeah,
out
you're
of the
in
boot now, which is great. I'm out of the stupid walking boot, which was great because this past Saturday night, the library's 75th anniversary, the celebration, they were gracious enough to sit there and say, hey, Chris, do you mind getting up there and introducing the band? I got to get up and talk to people. We had a great night, got to see some great music. I've got some backstage audio. I've got some audio with the people at the 75th anniversary. That's coming up later on in the program as well. So we are completely packed in this week with the EP podcast. And then you sit down and you tell me that they're renaming Little Company of Mary?
Yeah, they're
Where did you get this from?
Oh, the Patch had it today. Well, to me,
are they really renaming it, or is this like
I saw the headline.
This is like getting the Sears Tower renamed. I have an issue with this.
Well, so the caption or the snippet on the Facebook post said Little Company of Mary Hospitals moving closer to a merger deal, including a new name for the Evergreen Park facility. So of course you're like, oh my God, they can't rename Little Company.
Right, exactly.
And then,
And then you went into it.
Well,
Was it clickbait? Did the Patch clickbait you?
They did a good job. They wrote a good lead. Is what a good news writer does. You write a good lead. It's just getting changed to OSF Healthcare Little Company of Mary Center.
So it'll just have a thing in front of it.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Christ Hospital's Advocate Christ Hospital. This will have a thing in front of it, and you'll just call it Christ. Like I'm going up to Christ.
Right.
I'm going up to Little Company of Mary.
Yeah.
It won't change very much. The mayor at the State of the Village address made some mention, and there was so much to go through, but I remember him talking to different business owners, different residents when he did that thing over at the community center a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. He brought up Little Company of Mary and talked about the idea that they don't get as much money that they bring in for the same thing from insurance carriers and everything else that Christ gets. And I can't really explain exactly how I was doing it, but he was basically explaining that in his talks with them, they're not big enough. And since they're not big enough and they don't have the facilities that they have, they don't make as much that the bigger hospital in Oak Lawn makes.
Yeah.
And that they're trying to change that because you might see new things moving in there. And this might have been one of the things that he got the heads up on, is that they're going to do some sort of a merger. There'll probably be new buildings.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows what it's going to turn into over there. I think anytime you get a hospital that continues to up its game, it's good for the residents.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to figure that it's got to be a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
change is good in this scenario.
Yeah, not everybody likes change.
Yeah, well, in this scenario, it's good.
Not everybody likes change. I'm still wondering where my bread went. Okay, I hate this keto diet and I want off of it. The moment you two skip a workout, we're done. It is now time for your EP podcast, Word on the Street. The CSX grade crossing, we warned you about this last week. Starting the day this show comes out, Monday, October the 14th, and for 2 weeks after that, the crossing at 87th and Rockwell is closed. Both directions on 87th Street. Main detour route is 79th. It will be posted to remind you, but if you're listening to us right now before you get there, find another way. Also, remember about the EP Youth Department's Fall Coat Drive. Donations of any new or gently used coats can be made through the end of November at the Community Center, 3450 West 97th Street. The Evergreen Park Street Department wants to remind you that you can use your green yard waste cans for disposing of your fallen leaves. And there are also paper yard waste bags that you can purchase at any hardware store. You can use those as well. The leaf pickup does not start for a few more weeks, so these are some options if you want to get a jump on it. And finally, remember when your parents told you don't get into somebody's car when they offer you candy? And definitely don't get into their trunk. Well, there's a safe way to do this now. Trunk or treat. On Halloween from 4 to 6 p.m., First United Methodist Church is having a trunk or treat. If you're looking for something else to do on Halloween, check it out. That's your EP Word on the Street from the EP Podcast, found everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at theeppodcast.com. Backstage with American English. Buddy, you were on just like last week telling me how great this was going to be, and I'm going to tell you something. I felt like I watched the Beatles tonight.
Oh, fantastic, Chris. We had a great time tonight. It was a great crowd, and came out here for Evergreen Park Library, and just what a fantastic time, and we really rocked it. It was cool, man. It was cool.
Ringo was his first night.
Yeah, that's right.
First night for Ringo. He's standing right here.
Brand new drummer.
Ringo, you look like Ringo when he was 12 years old. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited to be here. It was a fantastic night. This is a show that I was anticipating for a very long time. And to finally play with American English, this is a band that I've been wanting to play with all my life. And to finally play a show with them tonight, it's a dream come true.
It was an amazing performance. He did a good job, didn't
he was stellar. Absolutely stellar.
Yeah, definitely. That was, it was great. First of all, you did my request.
Yeah.
You did In My Life.
Well,
which
of
I thought
course.
was
Anything
great.
for you,
It was really
Chris.
nice of you guys to do that.
Sure.
But I love the back end of that set. There's so many songs to choose from, though.
Sure.
You got to think about the Beatles at the back end. I always thought the Beatles at the back end were my favorite. You like the poppy stuff, but really back end, they got quite a library. It must be tough to pick a song.
It is tough. There is no question. They were a classic rock band, and they evolved into one of the greatest, well, let's face it, the greatest rock band of all time. Yeah. That's not to discount Zeppelin and the Stones, and they're all great.
No, they're garbage. They're garbage. Garbage compared to the Beatles.
The Beatles knew how to rock and roll, and yeah, we can't fit every song in, but we try to rotate them enough so the fans have a good time. And man, I'll tell you, it's hard rocking stuff toward the end there.
When
really.
You put the sideburns on your face and the mustache,
yeah.
How hard is it to get the glue off? What are you using? You came walking out, I swear to God, I was like, wow, that's George Harrison. That's
Didn't
incredible.
I tell you?
Yeah.
It's a transformation. You know what we use? I'll tell you the secret. We use tape. Like sticky tape.
Okay.
And we have to cut it just right, and it works really good, and we have to get the beards all trimmed. It's all real hair beards, real hair mustaches.
Right.
Get them trimmed and colored, and you go out there, and it's a presentation. It's
Meanwhile, I was sitting there watching the show thinking to myself, Paul never changed.
Yeah, not
because
much.
Your Paul does not change.
No.
He's just basically, and that's his hair, I found
That's
out.
his hair, yeah. He what a lucky guy.
James Paul, I appreciate you coming on again.
Thank you, Chris.
Great show tonight.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us, and we're pleasure to be on the podcast. Thank you.
The world is fast and busy. Sometimes you got to get down to your speed. And the place to lower your speed and relax in Evergreen Park is at the Red Palm. Maybe your speed is wine on a Wednesday with your friends for Wine Down Wednesday. Maybe turtle races and Queen of Hearts on Thursday nights is more your speed. Each and every night, though, at the Red Palm, you get a little island attitude at a local latitude. When you walk into the Red Palm, it's like walking into an island bar, but right in Evergreen Park, with a menu like no other created by Chef Mario and cooked in a beautiful wood fire oven. Unique tastes, comfort foods, and honestly, the best wings you're gonna find anywhere. Have a tropical drink, a craft beer, a glass of wine, or share a bucket of lights with your friends. Watch the game on one of the many flat screen TVs over the top of their bar or out on the patio. The Red Palm at 3020 West 95th Street. Island attitude, local latitude. Hannah, my lovely wife Erica, has made her way down here to the 9-foot homemade oak bar. She's upstairs making me delicious keto meals. She's making them for herself too. She's on a diet kick. You guys are running around and working out now together, which is incredible. I spend far more time watching all of the children because you're out gallivanting. Where are you?
we go.
Yeah, whatever.
gallivanting.
Okay, they head up the street here in Evergreen Park to Core Fitness and Physical Therapy and chill out there. I think you got the idea because they were on, what was it, on the Meet the Neighbors. I think I talked to them maybe
Yes,
about a month or
you
so ago.
did.
All right. So then, and now you're going over there. What is this place like? Because I haven't gone in there yet. Now that I got the boot off, I got to figure out whether or not I can go over there and do my physical therapy.
Well-
but I'm curious.
Well, actually, I learned about Core a few years ago because I was looking for physical therapy for I had runner's knee. And I didn't want just run-of-the-mill physical therapy.
What's runner's knee?
It's where the ligaments and tendons in your knee, over your kneecap.
Starts to bother you when
Yeah.
you're running? Okay.
Yeah, and
So
my knees click a lot.
You went there for physical therapy.
Yes, and the reason I chose them was they incorporate Pilates into some of their physical therapy. And I said, that's really cool. So Core, it's convenient to get to, and Evergreen Park is right at 95th and Richmond. So it's not like you're going out of the way to get over there. So I went in and it was like, I've been to other physical therapy places. It was the best, most interesting physical therapy I ever had. I actually looked forward to going to it when I had my appointments.
Why?
Because you're not just...
I hate physical therapy. This is not something I'm looking forward
It's
to.
it's almost like you have like your little personal trainer. They're not just telling you bend your knee, straighten your leg, they're not doing that.
Right.
They got you on the reformer machine, which is like a, how do you describe the reformer machine?
I would describe it as almost like a bed with springs that you move back and forth on.
Yeah,
That you
it's like a
slide back and
carriage.
forth.
Yeah, it's a carriage.
Yeah.
It slides back and forth with
Okay.
different resistance. So you're using that machine. Just some of the techniques they use are something, things I'd never seen before.
Something unique.
It was very unique.
Okay, and then you go but now you're doing fitness classes.
Yes,
then.
they also
Okay.
offer Pilates and yoga classes.
So which ones are you doing right now? Because she comes home. Here's the funny thing. I've seen her go out and work out before. She comes home. She hates the world. She comes walking in the door. She's like, I'm exhausted. I hate that instructor. She's ticked off. She yells at a kid. If we had a dog, she'd kick it at that point. I'm just trying to make a point. You don't kick dogs, only cats. Now.
Oh.
None of that either.
I think
We
it's
don't
funny to
even
say that because
own a
Hannah
cat
loves her
or-
cats and I'm
or
not a cat
dog.
person. Okay. All right. So now what are you doing over there that seems to make her so happy? Because she seems to be extremely happy when she comes back from there. Like what class did you guys take tonight before you came over?
We've been taking beginner reformer.
Okay.
So Erica's new to reformer Pilates. I did it a few years ago.
What is reformer
I'm
Pilates?
new to Pilates in general.
Okay.
Well, it's when you're on that bed, that machine with the springs on it. So you're using your own body weight and the weight from the tension of the springs
Right.
on the carriage. And then there's some straps behind you. You can put them in your arm, put them around your feet. A lot of stretching and just holding poses, using your own weight as resistance.
Do you have to
But-
be super athletic to do
No,
this?
this is what I like about it. I've taken other reformer Pilates classes.
I was going to say, because Erica's not super athletic.
And, it would
That's a
be
joke.
other places, it would be quote unquote a beginner class. And I couldn't do half of the stuff. And I'm like, I would just feel so defeated. Like, I can't do this. This is truly beginners Pilates, reformer Pilates. They teach you the form. They teach you the technique. This is how you do this
So you're not
correctly.
walking in and it's like, all right, let's go. And then you're like in a class and you're
No.
just,
No,
yeah,
the
it's not like
instructor
that.
the instructor is telling you what to do, and then if you're not doing it right, you're getting the personalized and attention
Right.
to help you do it right. So they'll come over to you, make sure like if your form isn't right, they'll push you into the form that you need to be into.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
And they're always, physical therapy is at, the root of a lot of what Core does. So the instructors are very cognizant, when they see you laying down, they want to make sure, okay, do you have any neck issues? If you have neck issues, we need to either prop your head up or you don't need to
Because
prop your
it's
head
fitness, but these people also do physical therapy.
Yes.
So it's like they're not like just, burn the calories.
No,
and they don't
no.
care if you get hurt doing it.
Yeah,
they actually care.
They care, yes.
And they're almost diagnosing like, oh, by the way, you got this other thing here. Let's work on this.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I like that. How long until you guys go into the room with all the big giant banners and whatever that is?
Oh, the aerial lotties.
That I've only seen when Erica watches a Pink concert on television or something like that, where she's spinning around above the stage and singing. And then I looked and they actually have a room
Chris,
that does
we're
that.
working our way up to that.
Yeah.
You can't do that right away?
No.
Is that a goal?
That is
Yes.
a goal.
All right, I want to be there for that. I'm bringing video and putting it up on the EP podcast website.
My core needs to get built up a little bit more. I'm going to be like dangling and...
It's the middle of the show song. 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 Chris had nothing to put here, so he put this song. It's the middle of the show song.
Man, well, thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming on. Joe Ryan's down here with us. We have Joe. Joe, you've been playing basically country music for how long?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know? It's been a while.
I won a guitar when I was 20 years old on a radio contest. I was 20, and I always wanted a guitar and begged for it, man. I never got to get one. And I called in work to my little job in Phoenix, Arizona, and was hungover like hell and called in sick. And I won some contest on the radio, like I won a Doobie Brothers CD.
Okay.
And then you're entered, I'm like, oh great, I got this Doobie Brothers CD, and it was horrible. But I got entered in to win this other contest, I guess, some grand prize, and I get a call at work like a week or two later. It's like, did you hear? You won the grand prize. I'm like, okay, is this a joke or what? No, you won tickets to see Stevie Ray Vaughan and Jeff Beck in California, all expenses paid, 2 nights, blah, blah, blah. And long story short, they called a couple of weeks after that and said, there's a guitar down here that's part of this package. So you won a American Fender Strat, and it's autographed by Stevie Ray and Jeff Beck. So you
win a contest, and you're just thinking you're going on a concert, and going to a concert, going on a trip, and they're like, oh, and here's a guitar.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'd been like manifesting one, right? I'd been wanting one. I mean, at that point, I'm listening to like Jane's Addiction and Big Audio Dynamite on pirate AM radio, like real indie rock stuff. I had to look up who Stevie Ray was. And then... I mean, I grew up on old country, right? My mom and dad listened to old country music, and that's what I grew up on. And I always had a fascination. I always loved blues music when I heard it. And but once I got that guitar, it made me instantly explore Jeff Beck, his influences, to Stevie Ray, his, Now,
where were you living when you won it originally? Where are you from?
I grew up in Rock Falls, Illinois, which is 110 miles west of here.
So you were brought to Chicago because of the music. That's how you ended up in this area.
I was brought to Chicago to go to college.
To college, okay.
Yeah, because in small town, it's easy to get big for the room in a small town. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I got a little too big for the room, I guess. And I'm an explorer, right?
It doesn't seem like. Here's the thing: you're living here in Evergreen Park. I know Bridgeport was a place that you were at for a long time.
Yeah, I was there before. Yeah,
right.
I was there.
And it just doesn't seem like when I was young. And friends of mine would say, oh, we're going to go out and see a band, or so-and-so's got a band. It was never this type of music. Chicago, at least in my mind, or at least where I'm at here on the South Side, it's always like somebody who's trying to be like the next Metallica back when I was younger.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hard rock that's going on when people are playing it.
A ton of hard rock.
A lot of hard rock.
Side.
It's a big hard rock scene on the South Side.
Absolutely.
So it's amazing how unique your sound is. To me, it's unique for the South Side. It's not the norm. Do you think that that's helped you, that it's not the norm, and that you kind of stand out?
Well, I guess it doesn't hurt, but I don't know how to do any other music than what right. I'm not very good at doing the other stuff.
Right, you're not going to start slamming guitars around and.
I would love to do that.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm totally up for doing that, but I've never really responded real well to heavy metal music. I mean, now that I'm older, I kind of really appreciate it, and I appreciate the craft in it. Absolutely. But yeah, I'm not a Disturbed guy.
Right.
My old drummer went to high school with the Disturbed guys.
Everybody went to school with somebody from Disturbed.
Right. It was like the 13 degrees of Disturbed or whatever.
Yeah, everybody on the South Side knows somebody from Disturbed. I mean, what the heck? Fuzz plays on my softball team. So.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So, what helps me is I've found out to be me. And what musically, right? And if you're a songwriter or you're making your own music, I've made other music, and the first couple records, maybe the first one was really me, but the second one certainly was not me. It was more of a prog rock record with indie rock influences, more Wilco style or something. But when it all boiled down, it wasn't me, right? So that record you're referring to I put out this year.
This one right here. The Switchyard Sessions.
The Switchyard Sessions.
We've played Highway, the opening track, before on the program.
Yeah. Well, that was done with basically a studio band, not a real studio band. I mean, they could be studio guys, but some guys I've done bunch of shows with in Bloomington, Indiana. That's why that thing is a straight up country sounding record with pedal steel and mandolin and banjo and all that stuff. I put this out and it's like, I need a band. And it's like, oh, I need a pedal steel player and I need some country guys. And really, the country guys are really hard to come by around here. So to maintain a top-notch country style pickers like those boys on that record, I couldn't afford that.
Joe Rian is sitting down here. He's got his guitar. He's sitting here all by his lonesome. We're
as usual.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna sip on this drink that I have on the rocks because I'm on the keto and my wife wants me to lose weight and I can't have any carbs. And we're gonna let Joe Rian play here for a moment.
Sitting in Baltimore waiting on a plane. Home, get back to see you again today. Put our favorite record on, play our favorite song. Lord, I'm missing you. On my way home. Sitting in Baltimore waiting on a plane. Home, get back to see you again today. Tuck the baby girl in tight. I know you'll be alright. Lord, I'm missing you. My way home. My way home. Oh, it's hard out on the road without a place to call you home. My home's with you. Oh, it's hard out on the road without a place to call you home. And my home's with you. Sitting in Baltimore waiting on a plane. Home, get back to see you again today. If I don't make it home tonight, I know you'll be alright. Lord, I'm missing you. My way home. My way home. Oh, it's hard out on the road without a place to call your home. My home's with you. Oh, it's hard out on the road without a place to call your home. My home's with you. You are my home. You are my home.
That's awesome, Joe.
Thanks, man.
Name of that song is Baltimore. It's on Joe Rian's Switchyard Sessions.
If you like chickens on pianos,
yeah,
you really like it.
It's got a great picture on it. You can go to joeryan.com. If you don't understand, it's not R-Y-A-N, it's R-I-A-N. There's actually a way you can get that album for free there. Check it out. Companies that offer insurance at low prices may not cover what you need, just what you paid for. Cutting your auto insurance coverage could end up costing you thousands in the end. Mike Thauer at Country Financial offers what cut-rate insurers cannot: peace of mind. Mike's a lifelong resident of Evergreen Park, with his offices right at 3923 West 95th Street in the EP. Mike has policies that stand up to life's challenges and protect what you value most. He'll help you make a smart decision, not a costly one. Call Mike Thauer, your local country insurance representative, 708-425-1559, and protect what matters most. Policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, or Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Hannah, this Saturday, the Dixie Highway Brewery Trail is going to be in Blue Island. All 7 of the breweries on the Dixie Highway Brewery Trail. The ones over in Beverly, you got your Open Outcry, your Horse Thief Hollow, the ones that are out further out there, like Evil Horse Brewing, One Trick Pony, Rabid Brewing, Flossmoor Station Brewing, and then, of course, the host, Blue Island Beer Company.
Yeah.
It's going to be at Blue Island Beer Company. They are going to be doing an Oktoberfest. It goes from 1 to 6 p.m. I think from 2 to 6, you're getting in regular beer tastings food for $40. If you want to go the hour early, there's extras, plus an extra hour of beer tasting, some extra perks, and it's only $10 more, and you get to start at 1 o'clock. We are going to be out there, as in the Broadcast Basement On Demand Radio Network, so I'll be out there with the guys from the Broadcast Basement Podcast, because it does a lot of beer reviews and visits breweries, and they invited us to come out there to record a show. So if you're going, stop by, say hi. If you want to go, there are all kinds of ways you can do that. Many of the breweries have tickets on site. Blue Island Beer Company, BlueIslandBeerCo.com, has a place for you to go right in there and buy the tickets right on their website as well. So there's a lot of places you can go and get the tickets. Go get them before they run out. There's limited space. Definitely, though, if you're looking for, like, if you're in the beer, like I'm in the beer, like I'm stopping the keto just for this day. I'm sorry, I'm stopping keto.
You're going to gain 10 pounds overnight.
10
Everything's
pounds of
coming
beer
back.
going right into me, okay? I don't care. This is just too good for me. If you're into that, you're into Oktoberfest, that's a great price, something for you to definitely go and try out.
You want to hear what I did last night?
What?
So we had a quote-unquote team building exercise for my company with our conference that was going on, and it was way up in Itasca going to some cooking school.
Okay.
And I really didn't feel like going. I've been at this conference all day. Itasca was even further north, but I said, might as well. So it was probably about 50 people that went to it. So you go in this big warehouse-looking building, and they've got the little, cooking stations, and then there's the main station up front where the instructor is with a camera, big projection screen showing you how to cook, and Italian guy, real thick Italian accent, and I'm just sitting in the back. I'm like, whatever. Like, I was just ready to go home. But his voice sounded familiar. And then I looked around the room, and I was like, what is his name? And I found like a sign that had his name, Mario Rizzotti. I'm like, he really sounds familiar. So I Googled him, and he's been a former judge on Iron Chef and on Chopped.
Okay, so you watch the Iron Chef, the Chopped on the Food Network.
Yes.
The kids watch the kids Chopped.
Yeah.
They do that. Okay.
So I just immediately started geeking out. So I'm like, holy crap, this is an Iron Chef.
You're like this every time you're around a celebrity.
This is an Iron Chef judge. He has judged
anybody
the top
on any cable access show that you run into, you get yourself all geeked out.
He has judged the best chefs in the world.
All right.
Okay.
So you got excited about some guy that I've never heard of.
He's teaching us how to make, pasta from scratch, which I'd never done before. Then showing us how to make the sauce, the tomato sauce. And he says in Italy, you don't put seasoning in your tomato sauce. And I'm like, whatever. But we had no seasoning to use. He didn't even give it to us.
So he makes the sauce. He tells you how to make it, and then you have to make it.
Yes. And then this is when my
then
knees...
he judges you.
Yeah, that's when my knees started knocking when he said he was going to judge.
So this went from like, you don't even care, you don't even want to do this, you're exhausted, to now all of a sudden some guy who you had to Google because you didn't even know who he was until Google told you he was famous. Now your knees are knocking and you're nervous while you're giving him spaghetti sauce. Okay, I just wanted to recap.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. But I've been watching Iron Chef for probably close to 15 years.
Yes.
So me and my husband,
such a big chef on Iron Chef.
He's not. He's not a chef.
You
he's
had
not
to
a
Google
chef.
him. Okay.
No, he's a judge.
He's a judge.
They have a lot of judges. They come and go. So it's not like you have one consistent judge, but they come and go.
All right.
They rotate them out. The one thing I know from watching Food Network, you never serve a judge badly cooked pasta. I've seen the chefs get yelled at for that. So I was like, man, I've never made homemade pasta. This has to be perfect. I am not giving the judge bad pasta.
Okay.
So me and another guy that was on my team, we were in charge of like doing the pasta. So I'm mixing it together. I'm kneading it and go to feed it through the little pasta roller. And it's just coming out in chunks. And I just said, oh my God, this is not happening.
Yes.
I have to have pasta to put on the plate.
Yeah. Your very stressful evening you weren't expecting.
Yes.
Right.
Well, we only have the ingredients that he gave us.
Imagine if you didn't have your smartphone on you and you couldn't Google him, how you would have just not had a stressful night.
I wouldn't have.
Because you wouldn't have cared.
I wouldn't have cared.
Right, okay.
Yes, but now I cared because he has Judge Bobby Flay and Masahori Morimoto.
All right.
So that put a little bit of pressure on it. He wasn't just an anybody anymore. So I grabbed some olive oil. It's the only liquid we had at the table, and I kneaded the dough, and he probably would have yelled at me because he told us, do not add more than just 1 egg. You add 1 egg to the semolina flour, and that's it. Well, while he wasn't looking, I'm just like pouring olive oil into the dough and kneading it till it got a little softer, and long story, it just came out perfect. So
you didn't follow his recipe?
Nope.
I saw this video.
Yes.
Because you posted it, but I didn't know what it was about. This guy, he tasted it.
Yes.
He says your pasta's perfect.
Yes.
He asked if your grandmother was still alive.
He said, your grandmother's still alive.
And
I said,
he must have
yes.
assumed you were Italian. And you said she's Cajun.
Yes.
And then he didn't know what to do with that. That's all I saw in the video.
Another show is wrapped up. Another show's in the books. Another show is wrapped up. And then by the looks, it's gonna be a good one. And we'll see you next week. And the nudist basement. And the nudist basement. Another show is wrapped up. Another show is wrapped up. Another show is wrapped up. And it's in the books. Another show is wrapped up. Another show is wrapped up. And by the looks, it's gonna be a good one. Nudist basement. Broadcast basement. The nudist basement. The broad basement. Slancha.
The EP Podcast. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found. And always at the eppodcast.com.